I'm Leanne Wood, part of the public relations and social media team for the show, and your MC for the Smart Stage, powered by CE Pro. We talked a lot yesterday on the stage about the importance of the connection between designers and technology. The next panel will build on that and explore the relationship between the builder and the integrator in new home construction. Sponsored by Brilliant, Jason Knott, Chief Content Officer for CE Pro, will moderate. Jason, I'll leave it to you to introduce your esteemed panel. Welcome to the stage.
Thank you, Leanne. Thank you, everybody here in the audience. Thank you. Welcome to everybody out there in Facebook land. We're excited to talk to you today about an important topic that I know a lot of integrators have dealt with over the years, and that's how do they get a home builder to look at their technology and their offering and move it from not just being an option, but being a standard in their home. And I don't want to say it's easy to have it be an option, but I can remember talking to a builder years ago who had an option on his list for balconies, and he only made single-story homes. So it can be a little bit easier to be an option than a standard. But we're going to talk about what it takes, what are some of the technologies that help you get over that hump. And I've got a great panel with me today. We're hoping to leave some time for questions too. So you've got questions, please leave those towards the end. With me is Aaron Emigh, CEO and co-founder of Brilliant. Aaron, thank you. Tell us a little bit about Brilliant.
So Brilliant makes a home control that gives touch and voice control over smart home devices throughout the home, accessible to anyone in the home. It includes a video camera, so you have room-to-room intercom services and remote video monitoring. It replaces a standard light switch, so it requires no special wiring and no hole in the wall. It retails for as little as $299 all in. It's self-contained with no servers, no custom wiring. And we launched this product a year ago at CEDIA. We were honored then to win the best award for the whole home control, and it's a delight to be back again in a year to talk about the experience that we've had working with integrators and with builders in making smart home automation a standard feature.
Thanks, Aaron. We're going to talk more, of course, about how that particular technology can help drive what we're talking about for the topic today. Next to Aaron is an old friend, Dave Berman, president of ESD Technologies. Dave, tell us about ESD and yourself a little bit.
Thank you. Appreciate that. ESD Technologies is a company that specializes in low voltage contracting, security and surveillance services, home control and automation, system design and integration, like many of you. And we were looking for a solution that would basically differentiate our business from the majority of custom installers and contractors in the field, one of which specifically spoke to production build and semi-custom build, and we'll talk more about that.
Thanks, Dave. And last but not least, on my far left, your far right, Brandon Tatta, who is Division Manager at Graham Hart Home Builders. Brandon, tell us a little bit about Graham Hart and yourself.
Okay. Thank you, Jason. Graham Hart is a home building company based out of Dallas, Fort Worth. We have a diverse product offering that includes single-family homes, townhomes, condominiums, and multifamily in Colorado Springs. And we really feature on distinct architecture and with a focus of distinction and distinguishing ourselves from our peers in the Dallas-Fort Worth marketplace.
Great. All right, let's dig right into this. I don't want to pussyfoot around here. Aaron, give us a landscape of the technology solutions out there that can help help be something that a builder is really going to want to put in as a standard option versus an option.
Yeah, I think what you need to look at in terms of what enables that to happen from a technology point of view is the overall trend of technology over time. And we've seen in domain after domain that things get smaller and cheaper and better over time. So, what's happened is you look at these really sophisticated components that go into something like a Brilliant control, and there's a screen, and there's a really powerful processor that just a few years ago would have been a supercomputer, and there's a wireless networking, and there are all these things that have been riding the technology wave of smartphones and smart tablets and become very inexpensive as a result of that. And now you can pack so much power into such a small form factor at such a low price that you don't need a closet full of servers, and you can have it all fit in a standard electrical gang box, so you don't need a special hole in the wall, and that's already got power running to it. So you get this capability to build something that enables a very powerful solution at a price point that allows it to be put into every home. So that's a huge trend there. And then on the consumer side, there's more and more awareness of and demand for smart technology that enables the scale that you need to reach in order to accomplish that. And then in the ecosystem, you have a constellation of products that are becoming better and better that are available, again, at declining price points. And this democratizes it. It can be seen as a threat in terms of the price points that they're at, but it's actually an enormous opportunity because it opens up the entire market.
So just to kind of put it in a nutshell, a builder's going to put in switches. He's going to put in the home no matter what. We know a light switch is going to be standard. Now, but the form factor for so many smart home pieces of equipment is different. It's something that sits on the counter, or some sort of a voice control, or it sits in some sort of an additional touch panel, or something that must go into the home. The key really is here that you're taking something that's already must be put in the home. And in fact, I'm assuming every home is going to have some sort of light switch in it. Although I do remember have a builder telling me one time that he only put carpet in the house because he had to. That if he could sell the house with subfloor, he would. So I never make that assumption. But that's the key, right? That here we have something that's going to be put in the home. We're not talking about an extraneous form factor in any way. That the integrator now becomes part of that offering and makes that not just a regular switch, but a smart home control device.
Yeah, absolutely. When you talk about appliance-style devices that might sit on a tabletop or a counter, and then you run a cord cable over to them and plug them in, or you have batteries that recharge, to me, that's not a smart home. That's a dumb home with some smart stuff in it. And particularly when you're a builder, you want to be selling the home and not a bunch of appliances in the home. So I think that that's extremely important. And then utilizing the form factors that are there, and we support 1, 2, 3, or 4 gang boxes that are already there for light switches, is tremendous because that's infrastructure that's already being built into the home. There's no special ask, there's no low voltage wiring. It's also, from a homeowner's perspective, much less obtrusive. If you have a big iPad stuck in the wall, that becomes kind of the centerpiece of a room. You might not want that out of a home automation system. You want something that's going to fit in architecturally to what people are accustomed to in the room, and they already have something there. That's already the home control that they use most often. So I like to analogize that to your smartphone in your pocket, where we call it a smartphone, but really it's a connected computer that we use for almost everything except phone calls these days. And the reason that it's integrated with a cell phone is that people already had a cell phone in their pocket. That real estate was already committed and people were willing to put it there, so it made sense to make it a radically different kind of device. So that's the same approach that we've taken with the humble light switch and turned it into a home automation solution.
All right. Before I turn to the rest of the guys, kind of the $64,000 question. In order to do this, does an integrator need to be an electrician, or does he have to have a strong partnership with an electrician? Because now we're talking about line voltage and not just low voltage, correct?
Yeah, it is a line voltage device, and so either a partnership with an electrician, but one of the great things about the ecosystem that combines integrators and builders together is that builders are already wiring up these light switches, already have those capabilities. So together, that partnership is effective for that and many other reasons that I'm sure we'll be getting into.
All right, Brandon, let me turn to you. Let's talk about kind of this big picture of deciding options versus standards. Give everybody a sense in the homes that you build, how many options do you have, how many standards, and what is the criteria that you look at that makes something become not an option but a standard?
So what we're looking for is to distinguish ourselves from our peers and to truly have a smart home. So Graham Hart's focus is including standards, and we're going to leave it up to Dave to upgrade any particular options because he's the expert on that. But what we're doing is, like, we're already installing light switches. Well, we've switched over to a Wi-Fi enabled garage door opener so that we can integrate those. We're going to do a Ring Doorbell Pro as a standard that'll be installed, adding a Wemo device. And so we're trying to just change what we're already doing to what's adaptable. And what I love about Brilliant is that Aaron gave us an example of devices sitting on counters. Well, my wife hates things that are sticking with cords showing, and the fact that it's inside the wall, it's very user friendly, and it can integrate those devices that our customers already have, and that's what I think is so beautiful about the Brilliant product.
So just to be clear, the primary criteria is what's differentiate your home from another home that might be coming on the market. It's not necessarily you're looking for standard options that are going to boost your profit margin or going to be don't delay the home build construction cycle, because I know that's a big deal. You don't want to start introducing things that are going to add 2 days to the build cycle.
For the right profit margin, I am. and so, no, what I like is just the usability, and truly from the end user standpoint, I have this in my home, and my wife uses it, and so that speaks volumes to me because you can add features, you can add without having to pay for. I'm giving an example. I recently moved in May. I had other technologies that I had to pay a programmer to come to my home and set up my media room and other things. And so what I like about Brilliant is that I don't need to pay somebody else to do those things. I can add those in, and it's very, very easy to do them. So.
All right, David, talk to the integrators here who are gathered in Facebook land and here with us today. How do you talk to a builder when you're approaching them with a technology that you believe could be either a standard or an option, but how does that conversation go? What is it you're presenting? What are the important factors that somebody like Brandon are going to respond to?
Well, I'm going to start by telling you that it's an ongoing process, as you might imagine. The toughest thing in life is making any behavioral change in how you've become accustomed to doing business, whether you're a builder, dealer, manufacturer. And re-education is a tipping point that changed my company's destiny, and that was a quick story. I owned a speaker manufacturing company. We made very high-end handmade loudspeakers for 10 years. My sons grew up in that factory, and when they were 18 and they were going off to college, I asked them if they wanted a pair of these $3,000 or $4,000 speakers for their dorm room, and he looks at me and says, "No, Dad, I'm okay with my Beats." And then I thought, these are the guys that I'm going to have to sell product to in 10 years or 15 years, and they are not even closely connected to the passion